Guys, what is up? It is Chris Colgan with eXp Realty, powered by Place. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about the pros and cons of living in Reston, Virginia. Definitely subscribe to my channel, but let's get right into the video. I want to talk to you about one of the biggest pros about living in Reston, Virginia. And one thing that is brand new is the Metro Silver Line finally got finished after years of being built. And you can see there is a brand new station there that you can ride right into Ashburn, or you can hop on it and ride right up into Tyson's Corner, into DC, wherever you want that the Metro goes to. And that is a huge pro of living in Reston. There's a stop over by the Town Center, and then there's another station where there's a Google office, a Bentley office, all these different places. And there's like these brand new townhouses that you can walk to. So that is definitely the biggest pro about living in Reston. Another great pro about living in Reston is Fairfax County schools have been rated really high throughout the country. Every time I see a list that comes out, the school system there is always rated highly up there, and that is definitely a huge plus about living in the area. A lot of the schools are newer too and very popular. There's some good private schools in the area as well, and then we also have an awesome community college system. I think it's like number 2 for size in all of the country. I think maybe only Los Angeles is, or like Miami's is bigger than Northern Virginia Community College. So the school system and the community colleges in the area is huge. And then you also have George Mason University not too far away, and Fairfax. So the school system there is definitely a huge pro. One of the cons though that I'm gonna talk about living in Reston, which could also be a pro depending on how you like it, but it is the weather here in Northern Virginia. You see, in the summer, it gets extremely hot, and then in the winter, it can get really cold, but the winters here are very odd because sometimes we can get a ton of snow, nothing like New York or anything like that, but we can get a lot of snow come through, or in the summer, it can be 100 degrees outside. The one thing I'll tell you, which I've said in many of my videos, which you better subscribe to my channel, but in many of my videos is we can have like a dusting of snow here and everybody will freak out about the weather here and go running and getting bread and milk. But in the summer, like I said, it can be upwards of 100 degrees. When I was outside shooting the video, getting some of these drone shots, the wind was so strong, it was like 40 degrees, and we're in March, and the leaves and everything were starting to come through. But over the weekend, it was 80, so the weather is definitely up and down here. But that can also be a huge pro, because one of the things I love about living in Virginia and Reston is you really get to experience all the 4 seasons. We have a true winter here, and then spring comes around, you get to see all the leaves come in, and then summer, it's nice and sunny, everyone's out running around playing, going to Lake Anna, or maybe going into DC, and then we have the fall where all the leaves fall and all that. And a huge pro too about Reston is you get to run into some breweries and wineries that you can hit up in maybe Ashburn or Fauquier County. So that is also a pro. But if you're really into that different season look, and maybe you're moving from a California or Texas or Florida or even Alaska where it's always consistent, this is definitely a unique living for you. I think that's gonna be a huge pro. All right, so one of the biggest pros about Reston, like I said about the Metro, but it is the location. So right in Reston, you have a couple different highways. Dallas Airport is only like 5 miles away. Tyson's Corner is like 15 minutes away. A drive into DC is about 20 to 30 minutes. You're also close to the Beltway as well as Route 66. You can easily head up there and head into Arlington or Alexandria, but a lot of people live in Reston and also work in Reston, which is very rare for Northern Virginia because most people commute. But as you can tell, there is plenty of big companies based out of Reston and the Herndon area, like Leidos. Like I've said, Google has some offices, Amazon, Raytheon. There's all kinds of different businesses in the area. There's also a lot of different data centers, so the location is definitely killer. And they've done a good job when they started to build out Reston. Like they have their own hospital, they have different toll roads in the area that you can hop on, so the location is killer. And like I said, it's one of the few areas in Northern Virginia where you can just walk to work, maybe take an Uber, maybe take the Metro. You really don't need a car, which is very, very rare for this area for sure. Another huge pro, one of my favorite places, is Reston Town Center. It's this amazing place where you can live, you can shop, you can go to a nice restaurant like Morton's or Ruth Chris. They have an ice skating rink. There's a nice, beautiful hotel there that my sister got married a couple years ago on. She had a New Year's Eve wedding. We all went outside and it was just a beautiful shot there in Reston Town Center. And they really keep up with that place. There's a movie theater. There's all kinds of things to do. A lot of nightlife in that area as well. Really like a little bit younger working class, maybe mainly people in like their 20s, 30s, and 40s living there. And keep in mind though, my favorite subject, which is housing, is there's a lot of condo options and apartment options over there in Reston Town Center that you can definitely check out as well. But one of the huge attractions about Reston Town Center is there is just so much to do there. They have full-time security, because it's kind of funny, because every time I go filming in there, I get yelled at by security. That's why it's hard to get footage in there, because they like to keep it kind of private for everybody that lives in there. But that is a huge pro, that Reston Town Center is extremely popular. And a ton of people drive far away just to go there during the weekend and check it out. Go to the ice skating rink and do different types of activities, but they have a park there and everything, places to walk your dog. But I really love that about Reston. So let's talk about one of the bigger cons of Northern Virginia and Reston in general, and that is gonna be the traffic. Anywhere you go in the DC area, our traffic is notoriously brutal. Like I said, we do have these hot lanes, which can be quite expensive. Like just driving for me today from Gainesville to Reston, it was like a $15 charge if I wanted to hop in that hot lane, which it would have cut a lot of time, but I went during a good time. There wasn't a lot of traffic. The traffic, once you get outside of Reston, can get pretty bad, especially in that Tyson's Corner, Arlington, or the Route 66 area. And then the Beltway, for sure, 495 is definitely hit or miss with traffic, and that is definitely a huge con. All right, let's talk about one of the biggest pros of Reston, my favorite subject, housing. And if you're thinking about buying a house or moving to the area, me or my team would love to help you. We can show you all the houses for sale in Reston, any type of budget, anything you're looking for. But Reston is definitely unique for the housing situation, because you can get a condo for $200,000 to $300,000, all the way up to, I saw a penthouse condo for sale and Reston Town Center for $3 million. So the price range really varies. And there's also a lot of like single family homes and townhouses that were built in the 70s and 80s when they originally started building Reston up. And you can get one of those from like $300,000 to $500,000, all the way up to $800,000 to $900,000. But the home prices definitely fluctuate, and there's a lot of different options. Like there's brand new townhouses being built right by the Metro, and they're $1.2 million. Now, of course, they're gonna come with 4 levels, they're gonna have an elevator, everything's gonna be completely maxed out and just like fabulous. But also you can get a really nice single family home in Reston for like $700,000 to $800,000 and still be close to that Metro Station, or even close to Reston Town Center, or just a short walk or Uber ride away. Also, I've sold townhouses right around the Reston Town Center corridor for like $500,000 to $600,000 as well. So there's plenty of housing options. Like I said, if you're thinking about buying a house or moving to the area, what we usually do is take our YouTube viewers around. We show you a couple different spots, even if it's not in Reston, and we show you different houses. It doesn't hurt to look, and that's what I always tell people. So definitely text us or email me at any time. But honestly, the housing in Reston is a huge pro for sure. All right, another huge pro about Reston is a lot of the parks, walking paths and all that. There's about 55 miles of trails and paths for walking. And when I was driving around shooting some of their drone footage, you could see a ton of people just walking from work or walking their dogs, or they had the kids out, they were taking them around for a walk. People really do walk around a lot in that area. There's also a lake in the area that people frequent to, that you can go fishing and do other things. And there's just plenty of outdoor space in the Reston area, which I really love about that. And if you're into that type of thing too, you can just hop on the highway really quick and go out to the Shenandoah Valley and go out that way and go hiking, or you can even go a little bit further and go towards DC. So there's all kinds of different options there. If you're an outdoorsy type person, that is a huge pro about Reston. One of the bigger cons though is Reston is super expensive to live in. There's really high property taxes. And like I said earlier in the video, some of the housing prices and rent prices can get pretty out of control. So if you don't really know what you're doing and you're kind of just looking around, you gotta really do your research when you're moving to Reston, because there's so many different options. Some of the condo buildings as well will have these huge condominium fees. And when you're thinking about getting approved for a loan, you wanna keep that in mind as well, because they lump that into your payment when they're doing it. So especially if that building is a high rise with an elevator and a lot of amenities, which some of these condo buildings are here, that's where you typically see those higher end condo fees, and it can get super expensive. Also, there is kind of a lack of parking in that Reston Town Center area, which is another con sometimes, and they are notoriously known for towing people's cars. So if you go out there and you're just going around for a stroll or just hanging out, make sure you use one of the parking garages or take an Uber if you live in the area or at a hotel, because that could definitely happen to you. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this really quick video of all the pros and cons of living in Reston, Virginia. Definitely subscribe to my channel. If you're thinking about moving to the Northern Virginia area, shoot me a message. Me and my team would love to work with you. We work with a ton of people who watch my YouTube channel all the time. And like I said, for the love of God, please subscribe. That's all I'm asking you. And as always, I'll see you at the top or from the top.